welcome to another video from Gardening with Jason. Today we are repotting our tomato plants, and there's quite a variety of them here. You can see quite a difference in germination rates. At the end here are aubergines, and had a fairly high germination rate. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 plants, and I've had 5 come up, which isn't too bad. The tomatoes have done surprisingly well. Black Russian, which is this one here, that's come up very well. I think almost every one of those germinated, and looking at the 4 of them in this tray, I'd actually accidentally dropped some there. The Roma tomatoes in the here, none of them have germinated at all. These are mini bell tomatoes, only 2 of those germinated, and the F1 shimmer we've had, they've all germinated. There was 2 in here which I have earlier repotted. Now when it comes to replanting them, you'd usually repot them when they have 2 sets of true leaves. And if I just come over here and try and show you this one, you can see there's 2 sets of leaves here. The baby leaves just look like single leaves, but when they've got true leaves, they start to look like proper tomato leaves, and then it's quite easy for you to repot them. That's when you should repot them. These have gone slightly too big, unfortunately, partly due to the fact that I've been waiting for the right time to come out and video them. Okay, so repotting them is fairly easy. Let's just bring everything down this end. I've got bigger pots. These have already been pre-filled with soil. Just going to make a hole in it, like so. So there's a hole that's reasonable size that the root ball can go in. So then you have to carefully get these out of here. You've got to be very careful, because these are actually quite easy to damage. So there you are. You've got to handle them very carefully, because it's very easy to break the stem or otherwise damage them. Now tomatoes are actually quite unique in that what they will do is they will actually grow roots from the stems. So what you can do is, when you repot them, every time repot them a little bit deeper. So I'm going to try and repot them as close as I can to this set of leaves here, and it will grow more roots from the stem down here, which will mean a plant that can get more water and nutrients. Hopefully that means more fruit, but it also means that when you plant them out into deeper pots or into the ground, they're much more stable, because they have a much deeper root system. Now this is the bit I always struggle with, is getting my plants straight. So let's get the soil in, give them a good push down like that, get some more soil in. I'm filling the pot quite full, firming the soil down nicely. One more lot. And when I repot these again, which I will do probably in 2 or 3 weeks time, let's just get the lumps out. Unfortunately, with the struggle to get compost with the way things are at the moment with the lockdown, the compost that I've bought, despite it being an expensive compost, is rubbish. So I've that mixed up. I bought some grow bags and put some grow bags in there as well, and really just mixed up. So you can see it's planted quite deep. It's not quite up to those leaves, but it's almost there. It's firmed down. So next job, and this is the important part, is to write the label, because obviously you don't want to forget what they're called. So let's just write tomato F1 shimmer. I don't normally grow F1 tomatoes, but again, varieties were limited at the present time due to the lockdown, so I bought what I could get hold of, and these look like quite an interesting tomato, and that's all potted, just needs watering in. So let's do another one, and then we'll go and have a quick look at our lockdown garden and see what's happening in there. This is a handy little device. They're dead cheap, you can find them anywhere. They're great for helping to get the plants out of here without damaging them, because you can get under the root ball and lift the plant up, and you can see there it's quite undamaged. Push it down nice and deep, bit of extra soil, again push it down nice and deep, nice and firm. take some more lumps out of the soil and just push it down like that. Write another label, and then I'll get on with all the others. If you can't find one of these or you don't have one, then what I can recommend, just don't tell anyone you're doing it, is use a kitchen fork. Kitchen forks are great for the same thing. They're very helpful to get your tomatoes out without damaging them. It is very, very easy, particularly when they're this size. They're very, very easy to break and damage. So you've got to try and scoop them out of the modules as best you can. The other way around it, of course, is to grow in smaller pots and then just increase the size of the pots as you go. That will also work, and that works very well too. But there's a second one. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 more to do, and 5 aubergines, or eggplants if you're American. So I'm going to get on with those. But before we do that, let's just show you what's going on down here very quickly. The chives doing fantastically, still strong. They look a little dry, so I'm going to come out and water everything in a minute. You can see there's a couple of bits, but we haven't had any rain recently, so we're going to get those watered. Strawberries, again, just pull off the dead leaves, put that in the bin. There's another dead leaf here. Just try and keep it tidy. That'll helps keep pests away. There you go, that's gone. And you can see over here as well, lots more tomatoes, lots more strawberries, putting on flowers. And considering I transplanted, these were runners from last year, I transplanted them and put them here, and they're doing fantastically well. And if we angle down there, you can see there's a load more also doing well in here. Ooh, and try and get you in there. So at the top there we've got all our brassicas, and there's some marigolds on the end there. They're all doing very well. They need repotting, so that's on the list for today. And that row there is some celery. Down the bottom we've got some sunflowers, and those are courgettes. Up the top there's some butternut squashes, and they've actually just started to make an appearance. I'm starting to see some of them come up now. They're still very small. And that's electric daisy. You will remember I mentioned that was used in Disney, in the Star Wars land, to make cocktails. They're really interesting, so I'm quite looking forward to those as well. Over here we've these are finally taking a toll. One of the ties is broken, but radishes are on the right in the round pot. And then there's rocket and various salad mixes in there, all of which are coming up very well. So that's looking good. Those are some beans, and then next to them are some sunflowers. And you can just see there's one coming up. Beans don't seem to be doing well again this year. I had a problem with them last year, to be fair. But they don't seem to want to do anything this year. More radishes, horseradish. Obviously, this is some mint from the plot. Really gone crazy, so I pulled some up, brought it home, just letting it establish itself, which this one has. This one's now established. That one just needs a little bit more time. That's some iceberg lettuce, and that's another mixed salad leaves, as are those two. Those two are almost ready to start harvesting, so I can start eating them. And then finally down the bottom there's 2 oak trees that I've rescued, and they seem to be doing very well at home in pots. I rescued those from the allotment, I'm assuming courtesy of a kind squirrel, planting them in my raised bed. So I've taken those out, and I'm going to plant those out sometime when I get 5 minutes. And over here I want to get some hanging baskets. I'm sure I've got some somewhere. It's just a case of finding them. And then what I'm going to do is put some hanging baskets with something on the wall. Haven't decided what yet, but it just sort of brighten up the place. But you can see, I know we're in lockdown, and you know, we can't do much. Haven't got a massive amount of space, to be fair with you here. All my space is down at the allotment, but even so, still got a reasonable amount growing. Plenty that I can get on with, and plenty to grow and to eat. And yeah, so it's all looking good. So hopefully you're doing well at home and staying safe with your family. And I look forward to hearing more about your activities in lockdown in your garden. And I will now go back and finish repotting all my tomato plants and then move on to doing all the brassicas. So happy gardening, and I hope I'll speak to you very, very soon.